Is about to start. Grab your favorite drink. Sit back and relax. You're chilling with HexAsians. With your host, Crypto Vince, Uncle Kevin Hex, and Middle Class Working Man.
HexAsians? Nice.
Konnichiwa! Emotional damage.
Hello and welcome everyone to a wonderful stream completely bereft of any ethnically Asian people whatsoever. This is HexAsians Light? HexAsians Adjacent? HexAsianless Asians?
HexAsians minus the Asians?
And we have, so we have no missing class working man is gone. We have no Uncle Kevin also missing in action. We've got Vince. I'm too busy for this stream. All three hosts have now left the reins in the sturdy control of the Whales Only, who is now in control and is the only person that can send us into the timeout. What's going on, Crypto King?
Well, Papa, I think I know where they're at. China just landed 3 astronauts on their International Space Station, and you just named 3.
Well, how about that?
That's quite the flex. Yes,
Makes
they're
sense.
up there in the space station.
Well, you've got Mike. The good Mike's missing as well.
You chopped up a little bit, Frank.
Sorry.
What now?
You forgot the gold Mike. D-Raj.
And D-Raj. Well,
D-Raj,
who could remember D-Raj? I mean, who could forget D-Raj and his beautiful golden mic? He's traded it in for his golden thermometer because he's feeling sick tonight.
Golden thermometer.
Wait, we do have Miss Exquisite, who is our only representative from Japan in the chat. Rather the chat that way, and or that way, and have a good time with that. Excellent.
Thank you for coming in.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, thanks everybody for showing up this morning, man. We're gonna make it a nice, fun stream.
Yes. And rather than read off all these names because we don't want to vanity, we don't want to just boost your egos and vanity metrics.
Share the link.
Why don't we jump? What?
Crypto Gains Club saying share the link. What? He wants to come on?
No, he's saying share the HexAsian link, bro. The HexAsian stream link.
Oh, nobody sent it out. That's why we've got like 10 viewers.
Well, I sent it
I
out.
did already. I sent it out on Twitter on my side.
Oh, 32. We're okay.
I put it on Getter, Gab, Float, and my Twitter feed.
You got like
And OnlyFans and yeah,
The
Pornhub,
females
yes.
only cans.
Only cans. Konnichiwa. All right. So, because we're gonna just get right into it. What do you think, guys? Ni hao. Why don't we examine a pretty simple topic just to open things up? Welcome to one of 3, possibly 4 bear markets that you're going to experience if you were a participant in Hex and have a staking ladder out to 5555. This is just the first, and I know it's gonna scary little Hexicans for the first time that are getting their feet dipped in the water of the bear cycle. But guess what? We're already a year into it. If it makes you feel any better, it was not a difficult pill to swallow until recently when you said to yourself, oh my gosh, whales can actually bring down the price of Hex. I'm just going to pull my skirt over my head, run around in circles, and then fall off a cliff because I forgot that I'm getting 39 to 40% APY trustlessly dished out every day into my damn wallet, and I don't have to give up my keys. Oh.
Absolutely.
But price is only half the equation. It's only running the damn race with 1 foot and 1 foot tied behind your back if you're not staked. So welcome. Shall we open this up? I'm sure Wales wants to berate you all for being jackasses and not understanding what you're holding and the importance of it. But please, Wales, in your own words, dozo.
So I want to start off by saying we missed this anecdote in regards to the stream today. This is HexAsians colonialism version.
Doesn't matter, just go ahead.
Nice.
Oh my god. That was so funny. Look, I think history is funny. I think all these things we gotta laugh at because it's not that serious. We gotta move on. But anyways, look, one thing I'll tell you, out of all of the things I've been saying on streams as I started streaming, you want to know what the funniest thing to me is that everybody seemed to miss the most important part, which was stake your Hex. Get you some T-shares. Don't just buy the Hex. I mean, people are out here acting like they were not told, and everybody was. There's even a song, hell, about it. So there's literally no excuse. You can only blame yourself if you don't understand that this is cyclical, right? Because that's the whole point of staking, so that you remove the ability to experience that pain. Because guess what? There's literally nothing you can do unless you're willing to pay the cost of exiting that position. Right?
It's funny, Hex non-Asians, I like that. I want to beat you guys to the punch. This could be HexAsians, subtitle, The Guaylo Show. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No,
King,
that was
please.
good. That was good. Oh man, we should have congregated on the title of the show before.
We should have. Yeah.
Sorry. But right, like that's the whole point of staking, is so that you don't have to feel the pain and you're just getting paid in the meanwhile. Look, when I first found Hex and I first started talking about it publicly, the whole idea to me was, hey, you remember Bitcoin? Well, this is going to be just like that. So you're best served by staking, understanding why you want to stake, and just sit back and enjoy the ride. Because just like Bitcoin went from 0 to wherever, Hex is going to do the same thing because it has staying power. That's it. That's the entire narrative. That's literally it. Anything more detailed than that is you trying to understand what the system does and how that can be so. Because if you don't understand what it is on the surface, then you must do your research. Because this is not just a coin, whereas you just buying it and that's it. Like, this coin has a functionality, it has a utility, and it's a very important one. If you're not using it, you're getting left behind.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we're going through this, we've already been through this several times. Crypto Coffee recently put out an awesome new video.
Yeah,
an awesome new video about hex staking explained.
There you go.
So yeah, everybody just get back on that, study it, share it to the new people that you're introducing to Hex, and just right now it's a great time to be onboarding people. This is the time. This is right. This is when millionaires and billionaires are made. Is when it's blood in the streets.
It really is.
Thank you, Sandy B.
Yeah.
Longer pays boner. That's great. I like that.
Coffee.
You know, it's I know why he's so everything he says is just got a touch of uncomfortable, because the B stands for butt crack, and nobody wants to have a sandy B.
That's funny, because that's true.
It is true. Don't get your nitty gritty.
Yep. And it's this.
All right.
You can't fudge yourself out. You can't give yourself that option unless you're willing to pay for the cost. You got to go through so many steps to end the state early.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all kind of signs before you do so. So if you go through that process, it's because you don't understand the system. Simple as that.
Hey, Wales, have you noticed, and you guys, have you noticed the lack of emergency unstakes in the last week?
No, there's been several.
I haven't seen any big, oh my God, get me out of here, let me get to the door real quick type of emergency unstakes in the millions. No, have you?
Yep.
You have? Okay.
I posted yesterday because I track all that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen us go over like 6.14 or something.
Oh, usually something outsized. I think everybody's already blowed their wad by now, bro.
Yeah, I think so too.
90% lower. There's only but so much ammo left down here to sell, and that's something that most people don't understand. It's one thing for look, you see people dumping 10 million hex in one shot. The market's still right here.
Right.
You guys notice my crypto kitty? Look what's on his eyes. He's got pulse chain on his eyes. He knows what's up. He's waiting.
He's waiting to get unleashed. On the pulse chain.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, this is
Hey,
gonna be nice.
by the way, CryptoKitties becomes a new thing on Pulse Chain. That'd be funny as hell.
Yeah.
Got a question. Liquidity looked like it was down to 9 million hex today.
I haven't even checked it. Hold on, I haven't looked at it in a while.
On USDC, it was like super low. I was like, what the hell's going on? We were like 32 last week, and now we're 9, like single digits.
Hold on, where is it? Where am I
I
not
didn't
seeing
know. I didn't check it.
Oh,
It
here
could
we
have
go.
changed since I checked, but
Yeah,
I checked
no,
today.
We got 69 million in the Uniswap.
69 million.
Yeah.
No. Then somebody's added it because, as Big Boy Games says, 9.1 mil yesterday with 4 days left dumped.
Let me
Okay.
check the Uniswap actual removes and adds.
Right, because over here, my today, your yesterday, I saw 9, and I was freaking out.
Gotcha. 50 million hex added 17 hours ago. So yep.
Okay, there you go. So
There you go.
liquidity added.
50 million, 2.5 million USD value, 50 million hex total added. No, that's one side of liquidity too. No USDC added. So there you go.
So okay, so hold on a second. Right now, Tap for Life 1 says liquidity USDC 10.7 million USDC, or million USD, sorry. According to HexStat.
Okay,
DataStats.
so you got to understand the difference between what HexStats is showing you and what Apex charts is showing. What Apex is showing you, or what Hex Daily Stats is showing you, is total value locked, and what Apex is showing you is literally what's available for sale in the pools.
Can we see this? Would you mind showing us?
Looking at the site isn't going to show you the difference. It's
But I
just
like colors and lines.
Alright. Whatever. Not gonna change anything for sure. Just a second.
For
But,
those visual people like myself.
Sure. But yeah. It's important to understand that because you're looking at two different things. Give me a second.
So how are you, Frank?
Good. Enjoying myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep,
we
we
can
got-
see you.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can even
currently
hear
in a
you.
hotel, relaxing.
You're in a hotel.
Yeah, relaxing.
Very nice.
What?
No hex involved, so I didn't sell any hex or anything else. So
Are you in? Are you in? What? Where are you? Are you in Korea or where are you now?
no, I'm still in Australia.
Australia. Okay.
Still in Australia, yeah, relaxing.
It's
Couple of
messed
days.
up that whenever Hexicans are trying to enjoy themselves, we have to follow it up with, I didn't sell any hex to do this.
Yeah. Right.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
but
nah,
you
go
know
on.
what? We can talk about that for a little bit because I think people are like people conflate reality with what's in their head, right? Now, how did that nonsense even start? Well, what happens is that you got these people trying to emulate something that they can't. Everybody wants to be rich or hard, right? But nobody can be a billionaire that doesn't have to spend money to survive. And that's the fucking problem. You know, you got people out here acting like, they found hex worth 5 cents and they got millions of it. Nah, y'all motherfuckers had to wait 2 years and then retire.
Hmm.
Motherfuckers wasn't just born with this money. So this
Yep.
connotation around people not selling it is kind of asinine. The whole reason people say don't sell it so that you don't lose out on the opportunity. It's not so that you can't survive. So I don't know where things got twisted along the way, but there's a big difference between selling you blowing your whole wad like those guys that we have on video EES and millions of hex,
Yeah.
right? Like the guy that started the copycat token and the other guy that cried about it literally after he did it, right? 16 million hex or whatever it was. Like those are the things we're talking about when we say don't sell your hex. Not don't
Yep.
sell your hex to survive. If you got to survive off this crypto, then that's what you got to do, man. Can't nobody shame you on that. That's asinine. So I don't know where the hell that came from.
Take
But
profits
but
when it makes sense.
yeah,
Right.
but take
Do whatever you want.
profits
Do whatever you want.
responsibly
Do
with a
whatever you want.
but
But here's the thing:
please with
the
a limit
people,
order,
the people you're
please.
talking about, Pablo, they're not doing anything responsibly, bro. They're not even watching these streams.
Yeah, and people think that they're just going to push the button on a market sell and they're going to
Get
sell
that
against
value.
themselves. They're going to not get as much as they thought. They're going to hurt the price. They're going to ruin everything for everybody else. Just give the. I always say this. Give us the chance to buy your bags by entering a limit order, please. That's pretty freaking straightforward. You'll get a better price. You'll get out, and we'll buy your bags from you.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, what do you
again,
think? Oh, Papa, what do you think it comes down to? Is it comes down to education or?
Yeah, it comes up.
Just
People
the
don't know what the hell to
education.
do. They don't know how to do that. They're
yeah,
like,
they don't know.
no, buy, sell. That's it. They don't. They don't know how to do the limit orders, and they also don't know that for the buys, they don't have to freaking even pay for gas.
That's true.
So I don't know. Maybe the word isn't out there on how to do a limit order. Maybe they just are used to clicking market because it's where it starts off. On matcha.xyz or 1inch, you can enter in limits, man. Sell
Well,
your limits.
Coffee.
I'm about
Coffee
I'm
makes some
about
nice
to
videos
post
about this.
I'm about to post the
Crypto Coffee did a how to set limit orders 4 days ago, so I'll put that in chat
Thank
for you.
God. Thank God.
That's a nice.
I'm
one.
sorry,
And his-
Wales.
And his latest
Please.
one as well.
Yeah. I asked you to show this and then I cut you off. So
No worries, man. So here's a 69 million USDC, right? You got 50 million V3 in USDC, 4 million V3 in ETH, 6 million hex in V2, or 6 million hex worth of V2 in USDC, and ETH 9 million hex. Now, Uniswap pool, total value lock, right? This is literally what people are putting in the pool versus this right now. Let me find this tweet. Hold on. I gotta find this tweet so you guys can read it yourselves and not just hear me say it, because it's just not the same. And what happened is the gentleman that controls or runs the Hex Well bot, he went into the code of both Hex Daily Stats and read what it is that they're tracking versus what it is that he is tracking to try to ascertain what the delta is or why there is a difference. And he put a tweet out. Let me see. Where the hell is that tweet? Kind of wish I would have saved it. I think I did, though. Hold on. But this is important to understand, right? Because you got to understand the data. Now, it's while the numbers might be similar, the nuance is in the fact that some money is just sitting in a different aspect in the system versus the other. And that's really all it is, right? You're accounting for two sides versus just one. And that's really what it boils down to. So total value lock, you're taking into account both sides of the equation, not just one. Does that make sense? Or nah?
Yep. Yes.
So
Hey.
hold on, Humble.
Hey.
So,
Oh my God, pulse X. It shows that test pulse is $4. This is great. I'm rich.
yeah.
We get that, by the way, still in the voice chat. Excuse me. Will test pulse be converted into something I can use? It already is something you can use. Really? That's great. Yeah, you can go buy your Monopoly house, maybe. I'm sorry?
All
Yes,
right,
you are
so
sorry. Goodbye.
this is what the gentleman wrote after reading the code for Hex Daily Stats, 130 million Hex, and the total value is the total value locked in Hex, while Apex charge displays the available Hex for sale.
Ah, okay. There we go.
Okay, so that's the breakout of the total value locked, because it's just locked, right? That's people saying we're gonna lock this away. This is just what's available for sale.
So we've got 80 millions on the market for sale.
No. This was
130 is
May
locked.
27. That was May 27. I'm
Oh,
just
right.
explaining the
Okay.
difference.
Yeah.
I'm explaining the difference.
Yeah.
So, and they continue. See, and it doesn't track all the liquidity pairs, just the main ones. So you're still not even getting the whole picture. So, you know, the most important thing to grasp about liquidity is that without it, you have no markets. So it's like waves, right? It's always going to go up and down because people are always going to add and take away, right? This is why you got adds and removes. And here's the where is it? Here's the 50 million Hex ad right here, 17 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the thing: somebody could come in and remove, 70 million, whatever. We don't know what this person really controls at all, right? So, just like there's 70 million on books right now, they could easily be none.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that is the case, if there's none available, what happens to the price?
Well, I mean, if you try to sell it, it goes to zero. If you try to buy it, it goes to the moon. That's literally what happens.
Yep.
Because it's all math. If there's no supply and you're trying to impact the supply, well, there's only but so many things that can happen. And it's really hard for people to wrap their head around that because it's really that simple, right? And what happens is that when you have a high amount of liquidity, well, the market cannot move a lot. This is why copycat coins have failed that you guys have seen since they started, since the beginning of Hex. You guys have seen 2 copycat coins fail because they thought they understood liquidity. And anytime I hear that term, lock liquidity, all that means to me is that coin ain't going nowhere. And the clowns don't get it. Because they constantly do that, coin after coin. That's what I see. Go figure. Everybody's so smart, they don't know anything. What's the point of locking in liquidity? What are you doing? You're just assuming. Yep. That's a big ass assumption. That's a big ass assumption. I mean, if the coin doesn't even have product market fit, what is the objective, right? Let me mute myself here.
Oh, they're coming to get whales again.
You know how that goes. Weekly.
It was only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. But these are things that's important to understand. Liquidity is not something that's supposed to be a wall. It's not supposed to be a block of cement. It's not. But you got to understand markets to actually know that. I mean, when you look at the deepest markets in the world, they're the deepest markets in the world because they can be. Because the demand is that it's there and the supply is there to kind of act that demand. It can't happen any other way. So to pretend to think that you can just throw a brick at a window and nothing's gonna happen is kind of crazy to me. And that's basically what a lot of these people do when they create these coins. They don't really grasp the nuance of liquidity. And I get it, but that's how people learn. Because 1 minute we had 300 million coins on here. The next minute it was 50 million. What if a big order would have came in? Bear market would have been instantly over. Instantly. But it didn't happen. I mean, look, 50 million hex right now, or whenever this happened, the ad was only 2.5 million USD. That is currently 80% of the pool, basically. So what happens if somebody is bored and they just click $3 million buy?
Like I do every other Saturday.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, at 2 cents or so, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But it'll impact price in a significant way, and that's the point. Because now here's the thing: you got 10.8 million total value locked. So what you see is that total tokens locked for Hex is less than 50 million. Total tokens. So what's right? Is it 69 million? Or is it just this one pool, right? Clearly it's just this one pool. So what's going to happen? Well, the router is going to look across all these pools and try to take as much Hex as possible. So think about it like this. You guys know that ultimately when the fork happens, what happens after that? Well, now you have two things that got to get repriced. And there's going to be all this Hex on both sides that has to get counterbalanced versus those other pools. Those other pools are going to exist. Hex is going to exist. What's not going to exist is a price at that point in time until one is initiated. Once one is initiated, then the market gets turned on, so to speak. And if the bot is going to do something and it's meant to harvest, which means acquire Hex, well, you do the math on that. If there's only, let's see here. Oh, man. Just trying to get all the pools for Hex. Give me a second. Okay. So apparently these are all the pools for Hex. Hex USDC, 2 different buckets. Hex ETH, 2 different buckets. Hex DAI. I don't know what this is. Maxi Hex, MR Hex, and of course we got more, right? You got Hedron, all that, right? You got other pools. So the question is, how much is actually sitting on these pools? And if you're looking at this right now, it's showing you total value lock as of right now with the present value, right? Because it's a mark-to-market value, meaning it's going to be based on the price of Hex right now, 5.822 whatever cents. So you would take all of that, right, sum it up and divide it by that price, and that would give you all the coins to a certain extent, depending on the mix of these pools, right? You would literally have to look at each pool independently to actually know, because the amount of coins sitting in here, right, not going to be the same as in any other pool. And that's an important distinction to make, because otherwise you're flying blind, kind of. You don't want to be doing that. This thing not working. Let me see. Ah, nice. Okay, so here are all the pools.
Oh, by the way, Wales, you have a stalker in the making. Apparently, Inviting Freedom is going to drive around the city until she can match the sound with your audio. I presume the sirens, right?
The sirens will be at that giveaway, but there's a lot of sirens out here, so good luck.
I think there's a different way you can drive him out. You can actually just, after you've heard him take a few hits, just get the ice cream man sound and broadcast that from your car. He'll come out with change.
Eddie Murphy
Yeah.
series?
Yep. Ice cream man is coming. Yep. That's Wales right there with a handful of change his mom gave him.
Too funny.
I want a bomb pop
Only it was
and a
that
crispy
easy.
roll.
So you go into this pool, 47 million hex. Going to this pool. Oh, come on. What happened? Did I go too far back?
The weed kicked in. That's what happened.
Nah.
It's show and tell time.
45. So that's 90. Right across these two. 105. Let's see. 3.7, so 110. So you see, you go across all those pools and you can tally up how much hex is actually sitting on the pools. And that's how you actually know. So you're just getting a small piece of the picture here. Same as Hex daily stats. You're just getting a small piece of the picture. It's good to track if you want, right? Because those are the big priority pools that are pretty much driving the majority of the capital flow. But ultimately, everything plays a part, and it could change at any moment, right? Because while these pools are what they are right now, anybody can come in, step in, and just change that mix at any point in time, right? Because these are all independent pools that anybody can come and act on.
Is there any way to see the usual suspects' wallet addresses so we can say, this whale is doing this type of thing to add liquidity to get out or get in or make a bunch of money or get a better position and better liquidity pool or nothing?
You would just have to look through. I don't know.
Wait, go back to this chart that's just blowing my mind. Just like this is like a Spider-Man web here. Great. What does this tell you? We're going up.
Always, right?
Of course. Zoom out.
This is V2, so that's all you're gonna get.
Uh-oh. Did whales go and get a fresh space cake pan or something?
Nah, man. But anyways. But yeah, this is that's the whole thing with liquidity. So yeah.
Oh, wait, what about the chart? Are we going up or down or what? Where are we going?
Nowhere.
Yay!
Great.
My favorite place. I'm ordering takeout for the next 6 months.
Sure.
I'm going nowhere.
We're in the create more Hexagon zone.
The lettuce hands passes their hex to people that can actually deal with the heat in the kitchen.
Well, I mean, it's just about education, man. If you're not properly educated, it doesn't matter. You're gonna own the wrong things. You're gonna be doing the wrong things, even if you own the right things. Null and void.
That's right. Precisely what my first girlfriend said when it came time to close the deal.
I'm sure.
Because you don't own the right things.
Coke Master says, do you see Hex going to 1 cent?
I don't know, man. Like, why do people act like they can tell? Go look at all the liquid hex sitting in people's wallets and go tell me if they're gonna sell or not. And there's your answer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not some centralized shitcoin. Like, people are gonna sell, and they're gonna fud themselves out, and there's nothing you can do about it except take advantage of the opportunity. And if you don't view it that way, then join them. I don't understand what's so hard about this. The education is out there. You either want to know or you don't. Whether it's going to 1 cent or not, hard to say. Nobody thought it was going to 5. People just guessed it was, and here it is. So who's to say it's not going to 0.5 cent? Who's to say it's not going to go to 10 cents? You don't know, and that's the whole point.
Ooh, give me more numbers. I just got excited all over. Anything you say is wonderful. Go ahead. Go. Give me 15 cents. Oh, 15 cents. This is great. All I know is when you're staked, you're constantly buying the freaking bottom. You're DCAing automatically when you're staked. The inflation is helping you out, and you're entitled to a portion of it. You don't got to worry about any of this stuff. You just
Coffee.
chill through it.
Yeah,
Coffee?
Coffee had a nice video. Yeah, last
Yes, of
week
course.
or so. He was talking about the DCAing in and out on both sides. And he said, yeah, the further it goes down, the more you should buy. So, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, I don't know if it goes down to 1 cent or so. Of course, you accumulate more than at 5 cents.
I think there's a lot of people that are going to be very excited if it comes close to 1 cent.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
we'll
was
see how
screaming. I mean,
long.
it was a year ago.
Yep.
A year ago at 35 cents or so, or 30 cents or 50 cents, they said, yeah, give me Hex at 1 cent again, or give me Hex at a,
Right?
at a penny or
And
something.
here we have
now
it.
it's there.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Nobody actually wanted
Let's go.
it. Right?
Let's
Just like
go.
nobody was
Back.
actually staked. Nobody actually wants cheap Hex. They just want to sound cool at that point in time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is fine.
Well, I know. I got a new. I got an onboard that finally got his Kraken situation situated. So there's gonna be a nice buy here in the next couple days. So
Up
he's
to
gonna be
and,
nice
and
happy.
including $1,500 US.
No.
It's a heavy whale type of.
It's nicer
harpoon?
than that. Yeah. He's setting up his young daughter, so he's so happy about that. So
And in all that time, you also made sure that they got their hardware wallets, right?
oh yeah, well we always talk about security and
All right.
he's on it.
Yeah, what is the idea behind lock liquidity? Can somebody explain that? Is that like, oh, we're not gonna rug you because we locked it in? Like, is that the whole narrative there? I don't really know. I don't get it. I just know it like really doesn't work. So. Nobody knows. All right.
Yeah.
No idea, Papa?
Well, what's the matter? What was the question?
What's the idea of what behind locked liquidity?
I don't know. Wales,
Yeah.
teach us.
I'm asking, fool. How am I supposed
Yeah,
to?
he's
Well, back to you, Wales.
No.
The idea behind lock liquidity, wasn't it a problem about locking it on Uniswap V2? No, V1? Locking it on V1 when there was V2? Wasn't that the big, snafu?
For what? One of them coins? One of them copycat
Yes.
coins?
Yes. Yeah, all right.
Sure was.
All right. Well, that's all I know. I can just parrot that, but I don't even know what that means. So if nobody knows what that means, then
That's the funny
That's
thing.
all I can
right?
give
Like, if you look at it from that very base level, just from the sound of the words, it sounds like it's a dumb thing to lock.
sounds dumb. Yes.
remember back in the old days when they were talking about that Polygon stuff, liquidity providing on the Matic or Polygon.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of came and went quick.
Sure did.
Oh, we need pulse chain. May I switch the topic for just one moment?
Sure, man.
So in the voice chat and just in general, Twitter and everything, people are starting to say all sorts of dopey things because I'm sorry, I can't believe I myself am saying this, but whales, they just don't understand what goes into developing software. They don't understand. A lot of people have not worked. I've worked for companies for 25 years in hardware, software, services, embedded technology, and OT and IoT stuff. A let me tell you, I've always relied, as a salesperson on the sales side, I've always relied on engineering to put out the good stuff that I can actually go and give to the customer. I've been told from the get-go, don't sell futures, manage their expectations, and keep them on the hook until the engineers can get something that is relatively bug-free, but never 100% bug-free, but lacks showstopper and critical bugs, and we'll get it out there and we'll upgrade it on the fly, go, go, go. But inevitably, I would always get a lot of pressure from my VP of sales that said, did you frickin' close it yet? And I would turn back to him and say, well, there's a feature that we promised them that's on the spec sheet that isn't present right now. So I would be in a position where I would go and try to put pressure on engineering to give me what's on the spec sheet. And they would say, we're working on this stuff. There's a process that we have to be under. It's called, we have these sprints of 2-week terms where we organize our development for 1 week, and then we test it for 1 week, and then we summarize for a couple of days, and we begin the next sprint.
Right. Just to make sure that the bearings and stuff.
Correct. And nowhere did I include the additional time that must be designated for an additional 2-week sprint for regression testing, because every time you add something, doesn't matter what it is, you're going to break something down the line in code. You want to make sure that doesn't happen. So as you go slowly, not like a sales puke that wants to get his commission check, wants to close a deal and make sure he doesn't get fired. Not like me putting pressure on the engineering guys. No, you ease off, because if this guy gets control and says, give me my stuff right now, you said mid-May, anything like that happens, guess what happens? Engineering says, it's on you, man. We'll try our best. You put pressure on us, take this garbage, and they chuck little pieces over the fence. You get it, you send it over, you get the order in, and it falls apart. So you don't want that. You don't want this guy shooting his mouth off in the back of your head on your shoulder as the little devil going, you want to be rich now? Make sure those damn devs aren't taking vacation time and that they're working as hard as they can. No, you want well-rested, focused guys that go through the sprints in the process and make sure that there's a good senior dev that checks that frickin' work before it even gets a hint of going out the door. And that's where we're at right now. Now, you should thank your lucky stars because they found an even more efficient way to do things that probably, when the question was put to Richard, hey, in a similar amount of time, you could have all of these positive, bountiful features. And I'm thinking that it's just as much work to unfuck these fucked up little bugs as it would be to migrate this over to something far more efficient. Boss, it's your choice. And you know what a good leader does? He says, what do you think, lead dev? Lead dev says, I would go with the good tried, true, and tested technology that I know can work so that this shit does not fall down like Solana. And that's where we're at. So now that it's very easy to understand, right? Give them the time that they need to do whatever the fuck they want and make sure that it's as bug-free as possible as it rolls out. Tested completely. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this comment really underpins the scenario, right? We've been talking about these things for a long time, and people don't really go out of their way to seek the information like they should. Unfortunately, they just lean on haphazard one-liners or just the most easiest thing so that they don't have to actually put in any effort. So what ends up happening is that you get a bunch of these, right? And that's really the crux of the problem. You got a bunch of people that don't actually understand what's going on because all the information is out there. This is what's so frustrating for people like me and Papa and whoever else streams and is constantly repeating themselves. Because here's the thing: it's not about not answering the question. It's about the question itself and the effort that it took to even come up with that question. There's usually none whatsoever. People don't do any research. They just expect people to just tell them what they want them to hear. And that's really what I see anyway in regards to when it comes to noobs in crypto. Now, of course, some people aren't that far left, but those noobs permanently or ultimately end up becoming plebs, right? Those are not noobs that just stay noobs and end up improving over time. There's a difference between a novice and somebody that just wants to be incompetent. And that's what I call a noob and a pleb. A pleb is a person that chooses to stay incompetent. And you have a lot of that in crypto because it's easy to just throw crap at a wall and watch it stick. That's basically what happens with most of these meme coins, right? People get lucky. And that's really all it is. That's why they look at, oh, is it funny? Is it memeable? Whatever. It's not really about the utility or the product market fit ever. It's about will it go up? And I get it, but they're missing the bigger picture, and that's how people get left behind. They're looking for these immediate X's and not realizing that that's how you lose so much more in the process of trying to find them. I mean, we get paid every day, just like you said. How is that not comprehensible? I don't know. All you gotta do is go to the website and see what it does. It literally gives you everyday data. It's almost incomprehensible to me how people just don't get it. They must literally not look further than this is just Hex coin. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else makes sense. How do you just not care about your money? Because that's the way I look at it. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of crazy.
I would go one step further in regards to asking for the code and everything else. I mean, for us, Pulse Chain and Pulse X are benefits. We get it because we sacrificed, but because of the sacrifice, I mean, the sacrifice state was you sacrifice for freedom of speech. Yeah. So there's no expectations from the other side. So you sacrifice for the freedom of speech. Clear, written down, done, finished. Nothing to talk about. On the other hand, people expect in return, all these coins like Pulse X, Pulse Chain, whatsoever. And then if it takes longer, that's where it comes to grumble because people are impatient. They want to get this quick buck, quick return, and they don't get it. And now they're going to get angry. Now they come in the chat like, Papa, Radio, what's going on? Why does it take so long? What's going on? And fix up the code and whatsoever.
They almost treat it like if this is some type of support hotline, and it's not. People are volunteering to give their time and effort here. And that's why I don't go out of my way to help anybody unless they go out of their way. Because it's a two-way street.
Do we know, speaking about Ethereum, do we know how long were they in test and all this other stuff?
I don't know.
How long did it take Ethereum to get a viable product live?
Yeah, I don't actually know that, but I remember when they came out, early days, not early days, but like early period of time in existence. It was buggy. I remember that much. It wasn't perfect, right? But different times, different tech, so it's not quite the same. I don't know. I wouldn't really hold anything that happened back then in too much contempt or in too seriousness because of how feeble the tech was back then. Because think about it. Look at how much of a beast Ethereum is now. This is just really an idea back then. It took time to really get it to this point, and you got to respect that. But at the same time, it's also become what it's become, and you have to respect that as well, because this is how things evolve and change over time. If you don't notice, right, like if you're not aware of the changes, well, they end up taking you out, like high gas fees for a whole year plus, making the entire system of Ethereum unusable.
A Far Aliens has an interesting comment here.
See, I didn't even remember that. There you go. I didn't remember that. That's true. I forgot about that. That's exactly why there's an ETH Classic. They had to roll the chain back and all this nonsense. I forgot about that.
Yeah, what we don't want is a Pulse Chain Classic event like that.
Nope. And look, the whole thing is about people got to get educated, man, right? Like, you're not going to, I get everybody wants a quick buck, but that's just not the way it works. If you're not the one able to find it, you can't rely on others to obtain it for you. Good luck. Simple as that.
Does anyone know how old ETH is?
Old it is? It's from 2015. So 7 years now.
7 years?
Mm-hmm. About, I think, a week away from actually being released on the 7th year. So We are
Imagine
definitely
polls.
plugging along. Well, that's the funny thing. People
Yeah.
don't want to imagine. They really don't. They want to look at it right now. And this is something we were actually talking about in the green room before we actually went live, is that it's hard for people to understand they have to be forward looking.
Hmm.
In this business or in this game, you got to be forward looking. I mean, how else do you buy hex at the bottom? How else do you buy hex at 1 cent, at half a cent? I mean, all of us bought it when it was not even known. Nobody. It was supremely gate kept. You couldn't hear or find anything about. Like, I found it because I found it, not because I was on YouTube searching for crypto stuff. Right? So those days are not like they are now. Now it's different. I don't know how people are finding hex. Some people are finding it when RH goes on these lame furu shows. They're finding it because they're hearing other people talking about, whatever it is. It's a whole lot different now than it was when we found it. Or at least us three. I don't know when did you find it, Frank? How long you been in Hex?
I would say 18 months now.
18 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
a friend of mine lead me. Yeah,
So
a
about
friend
the
of mine
same
lead me
time.
to it. I think it was
About the same
quickly
time as
after.
me.
I think after the PPA day. After the
Yeah, I got in right
day.
before, so around the same time. So it's the same thing. When you found it, it was somebody told you. See,
Yeah.
that's common nowadays too. But back then, it wasn't as common. It was just a common way to get in because only but so many people were in it.
Excuse me, I believe the correct term is someone done told you.
Yeah.
True. Thank you for correcting us, sir.
Yeah, because just imagine how many more streamers there are, how many the
Yeah.
Twitter spaces are taking on
I
fire.
can't keep up with all the streamers, bro. I can't.
So
impossible.
the word of hex is
Spread it.
100 times much more fierce than when it was in early 20.
I mean, just look at the number of people that went to Las Vegas this time around versus the first time. Completely different size.
There's a term for this. Once it reaches a certain percentage of virality, yeah, it's just snowballing. It just keeps going, and never stops. It needs to reach that point. Once it reaches that point, then it's going up.
Over. Yeah, there's nothing else. Nobody will have an effect. It's its own thing at that point.
Yeah,
just like Bitcoin is kind of its own thing, and Ethereum is kind of its own thing. Like, no matter what those chains do, there will always be people that support it as is.
Yeah.
Right.
It might be by the end of this year when the Highest of Stakes movie comes out also, or early next year or mid next year. Never knows.
Well, did you all see Jory Hex and the Crypto Sparbook team broke into the Patrick Bet David Valuetainment?
Yeah,
they were able to. I don't know if they recorded an interview, but I'm looking forward to see if they did. That's gonna give us a lot of eyeballs because Valuetainment's a pretty well known and a pretty good show. So
we shall see.
Shout out to them, Crypto Sparbook.
Yeah. I spoke to her last week or so, or a bit more than a week ago, because she speaks Albanian or so. So I asked her to get her videos and translations for the website, for the Hex language website.
Right.
Just to keep adding languages to it. Yeah. So I will use her videos and her translations.
Nice.
As well. Hex stories.
But yeah, man. So I mean but that's what it's all about, right? You got people networking everywhere. Like, it's just different. Right, and that's how this thing continues to grow, because no matter what, no matter who, Hex works, and understanding how it works is the key. Richard Hart really is not a part of this equation anymore. He did his part already. He really is not a factor. He only becomes a factor when people discover him, and even then, it's like, all right, well, whatever. Like, it's really not a factor because it's done. What's the difference between Hex and Ethereum and Bitcoin? Bitcoin can't just be transplanted anywhere. It's stuck where it's at. And it's stuck in 1995 or 2008. Ethereum, it's co-opted. Well, both of them are co-opted, but Ethereum, we all know, just is not going to improve. They can say whatever they want, but they're not going to improve the usability of it. They're not. And by usability, I mean the ability for it to actually be cost effective. Nobody cares about 100,000 rug pulls and scam coins and whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about usability. Now, Hex completely stands apart. It's actually completed, can be transplanted to anything else. So it's not even the same thing. And people just don't want to sit here and understand that. Now, we're just talking about Hex. What happens when Pulse Chain is done? We don't even know what they're doing. They're rewriting it outside of the EVM. How much better is it going to be just because of that? No restrictions. Different environment. Like, come on. You got to, you got to educate yourself. You got to try to understand why these changes are happening. What is the advantage? Why would everything just come to a sudden stop and turn when everything was right there, apparently? Doesn't really make sense. Now, you got to really look at things, right, in a comparative fashion. If you look at the history of Hex and how it, launched and all that, you'll see it was something kind of similar where it just was coming out, never came out, and then boom, it was out. That's how it works. Software is not, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yep. I mean, Richard has a track record of whenever he's whatever business he's involved with, he tends to be the best at it. So whatever he's putting out, he knows he wants to be the best, and the glory is there for him. So we just got to be patient because he's already got a track record of being a successful businessman, and Hex solidified that.
And did you read his latest tweet on Twitter also? That once Pulse comes out, he's gonna up the game,
flex it even
100%.
harder.
The
Yeah.
flexing game, yeah. Oh yeah, I want to see that. It's so exciting.
He's gonna buy 10 Lambos, 10 Ferraris, 10 Mercedes.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Whatever,
rubber
yeah.
band them all together and drive them in one column down the road at the same time.
Yeah, he's just gonna have a train with all his cars. Look, my car's going by on a train.
How much more crazy can it get?
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? It's about showing and proving, and people don't get that. They don't look into the past of anything. They just look at the now, and people base their presumptions. Like, they base their whole analytical process on what they see in 2.5 seconds. Like, this is the reality of 2022, man. Most people are out here just cementing thoughts on 2.5 on split-second things. Like, it's kind of crazy. I don't know what to make of it. I don't think like that. I don't understand how people think like that. But I mean, you see it all the time with X. You see it all the time with regards to RH. Now, I don't know if this is because it's all a plot for all these clowns that are in the face of whatever crypto to be whatever, right? But it can't be that all of these folks are literally saying the same exact thing, and they're not all talking behind closed doors. They're all saying the exact same things about Pulse Chain, about Hex, about everything. You're gonna sit here and tell me these people aren't given a script? You're out your mind. Believe that if you want to. All these people are doing the same things, and that's what we got to be aware of. That's how we keep ourselves above the fray. Because we can't be number one if we're doing what everybody else is doing. I guarantee you that much. Because everybody hates anything related to RH. So they're going to, by default, try to play us off as if we're just lemmings and stuff. Because that's what they do. They try to act like we're just minions of RH. Like, it's the funniest thing. Because if they actually even knew who RH was, they'd know full and well that he would not even stand for that disgusting fight. Ugh, it's just disgusting. It's the whole notion of people just... Now, don't get me wrong. There are people that blindly follow, but that's not what he's about. And that's my point. He's not out here trying to create blind followers. So, very important that outsiders understand that.
Yep.
That's pretty critical. Pretty critical, because it's not what we see everywhere else in crypto. Everywhere else in crypto, everybody is literally just a parrot of everybody else. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, the majority who like Richard Hart, they are Hexicans, but there are some people who do not agree with Richard and still like Hex as it is, just because of what it is,
Right.
then I totally agree with that. They don't need to. They don't need to like Richard hard because
They don't. They
Hex is
don't.
inferior for
It has nothing to
what
do
it
with
does.
him.
Yeah.
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 He's
Yeah.
just one nexus of the whole ecosystem. Literally, that's it.
True.
There's
Yeah.
Next Gen Frank, there's Papa Boner, there's Crypto King, there's all these different characters that we can lean on. There is not just one. And this is the whole point of community and everybody being on the same page and everybody wanting to do the same things and us bringing on board the right people to help augment them, stand them up, highlight them in front of the community, get the word out about them. Like that is what should be happening, but that's not what happens. What happens is people think it's a competition and all this other nonsense. And it leads to, messes and ugly points of view, ugly public displays, in fact. And we see this all the time because you got people that have their own agenda, and then you have people that are actually trying to do the right thing on the behalf of the community, which is get the word out of Hex, whatever the word is, however, however possible, right? Because here's the thing, people want mass adoption, but they don't actually want to do what it takes. They don't. They just want it to happen. That's easy, but not how it works. It takes time. It takes time. How did Amazon become a household name? It took 20 years. It didn't just happen overnight. It took time, it took strategy, it took acumen. These things don't just happen because, a viral moment in time happens. Like even after that, what's next? There's always an evolution to everything. There's no final form, and I think that's the problem. Like Hex is done, but that's just Hex. What happens to the ecosystem that surrounds it? You got Pulse Chain, you got Maxi, you got Hedron, you got all these different aspects now of this ecosystem that exists that are predicated on the existence of Hex. Why? Why is that? Well, because it's really the definition of crypto by default. It is the premier store of value because it does what it's supposed to do. Literally, I mean, can't beat that. I mean, it's hard to find something that does what it's supposed to do. We all agree with this, right? I would hope so. Because that's really that's what it's all about. Like when I hear Hexican, this Hexic Maxi, that, like, I'd be like, no. You people don't understand. There's no Maxi anything. It's just a bunch of people that like things that work always, not sometimes. That's it. That's all I'm a Maxi of. Period. So, people want to live in this alternate reality. Good for them, but I don't live in that motherfucker. So, good luck. Because the real world is the real world. Whether people want to live it or not, that's their problem. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But at the end of the day, guess what? People are going to pick and choose what they pick and choose based on what they think. And if they don't interject the right information into their minds, they're going to think the wrong things. And based on that, they're going to make the wrong decisions. That's basically what it boils down to. Belief, think, thought, whatever. It's all the same. Just a different connotation to the word. So you either prepare yourself to make these decisions the right way, or, you end up paying the piper like everybody else. And look, it takes a while, man. It's not easy. To find success in any endeavor is not meant to be a 20-hour thing. So I think that's lost on most people.
6 months in my case.
Well, I'm just saying, even after those 6 months, there's other levels to this game that you don't know or you're not aware of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you learn on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Same thing for me. And I'm supposedly one of the guys, and no, I'm still learning every day too. There's always something to learn here. There is no final form. And I think that's hard for people to grasp or accept, man.
I mean, for you and me, we're still working and we're still grinding and working our butts off just to support, I don't know, family or friends or whatsoever. And then on your free time, you sit down and you turn on the computer and read about Hex, or go to Twitter and figure out what's going on there, and then you prepare for streams, and you stream here one time Monday night, or in your case Monday morning. So
I mean, it's
yeah,
about whatever it is you do. You just got to do it.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just happen to stream. You know, if I didn't stream, I'd still be educating myself one way or the other. You know, it doesn't ultimately matter. You know, it's about the process, and the process involves getting educated. You cannot skirt that responsibility, and that responsibility is individual. It's on the individual. It's not on the community. And I think there's a big misconception with that fact. I mean, you got people in Hex that literally do not understand it and are big names in Hex. And somehow that's applauded or allowed. I mean, it just goes to show the lack of understanding in general. No matter how many times you put out the correct information. Go ahead,
Some people don't want to. They just go for the run, and that's it.
Yep. And that's, you know, that's okay. Because again, at the end of the day, the biggest impactful statement that I like to share with people that is really the truest of all: we all get what we want from life. Period. Whether good or bad. We all get what we want because the decisions we make impact what we experience. That's a fact. So that's what it boils down to, man. You know, so people learn, you gotta learn to live with your decisions. And that's the hardest thing for most people, because they want things now. They don't feel they have the time to wait. And I get it. But the universe doesn't care. And that's what a lot of us young folk do not get. Because I was young, I wasn't patient, I didn't care also. And guess what? I learned. And that's when I found success. Not a moment beforehand. Even with all the money I made, I lost just as much, if not more. And this is the balance, right? That's the world freaking saying, hey, you're almost there. Not quite. Try again. That's what that is.
And for the coming back to the beginning, for the guys who are staking like for 15 years, they have another three bear markets in front of them.
3 or 4, actually, right?
4. Might be 4. Yeah.
We're assuming we don't know if the cycle's going to shorten or lengthen. We don't really even know. As of now, that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, we can time them, can't you? Can't you time them roughly around 3 years?
Well, only around the halvening, right? For Bitcoin. That was a traditional way to mark the bear market, right?
That's why you got 2-year stakes coming out right now, because that's what people were doing. Going off of that Bitcoin calendar. So, yeah. I mean, look, again, this is easy. This is as easy as you want it to be, or not.
As complicated as you want it to be.
Yeah. And that's what it took me years to learn that. And once I realized that, it was no stopping, because I realized, well, okay, I get to pick the inputs that impact my point of view, and that means that I get to ascertain whether I'm right or wrong instantly. So it was just a matter of picking and choosing whether I was picking and choosing the right elements to focus on or not. And, it took a while, but I searched and searched because it was my desire to find that. You either want to learn or you don't. I've already given this information out. And, it's obvious that some people took it serious and some didn't. How do you see bear markets coming, man? I've already displayed that multiple times on streams. So how do you not know? Because you didn't study, you didn't take it seriously, you didn't follow up on the information. Because I give it for you to go verify and process. And it's the same thing every other streamer does. Nobody is telling you what to do. And that's the big distinction between what some of us are doing and what some people on the receiving end actually want. Right? Some people want to be told what to do, and a lot of us aren't doing that. So there's a major disconnect just right there. So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, and not easy by any means, and we just got to keep on plugging away. Because, as you guys alluded to earlier, the community is so much bigger now. right? That's not by mistake. It's not by mistake. It's because we're all putting in the work. And the sad thing is that we're not seeing the end results right now, but that's because people that are getting out of the system are not educated, and that's perfect because it gives an opportunity to those that are educated to actually be able to size up like they never thought they'd be able to. I mean, I remember being in Vegas last year, talking to people that were new back then, and them being embarrassed by the size of their bags because Hex was only at 5, 6, 7 cents at the time, which was way higher than where I found it. So I could get way more when I found it versus the people that found it later on. So we're back at this level again. Opportunity presents itself again. What are people doing? Running away, not paying attention, not educating themselves, complaining, not looking for the opportunity. In short, that's ultimately what a lot of people are not doing. Now, you know, people always say, well, luck is when effort and opportunity meet. And that's right. You make your own luck because you put in the work, you put in the effort, and you found the opportunity. But most people aren't willing to do the first nor the second to be able to ascertain the third. And I think that's the biggest crux of the issue that we have. But, you know, at the same time, that's a societal issue. I don't think that's unique to any particular country or anything like that. I mean, anywhere you go, people just want the quick now. They don't want, nobody's about delayed anything. Like, everybody wants everything yesterday. So it's tough, man. It took me a while to realize that that's the wrong frame of thought. But it really is.
Yeah, it goes back to personality.
For sure.
People have to be willing either to learn or be willing to listen to explain what hex is, so that they just put a little bit in. And once they get confident with a little bit of hex or staked or something like this, then they might change their mind and put more effort in learning it.
And I think that that's what it's about. Like, I remember when I first started trying to onboard people in the hex, because even onboarding is a process, right? Because if you don't know the system, well, you can't really answer all the questions. So even your onboarding is subpar, right? And this is that was one of the motivators for me to learn, because I knew the system was great. I just didn't know all the particulars. I couldn't answer all the questions, right? I couldn't do all the things that I can do now then. And that was my driving force. That's what prompted me to want to learn, because I didn't want to be the guy that couldn't answer these questions that I knew had answers. Because it's out there. We found them all, right? We found them all over time. It isn't just me, because we all share information. I share quantitative information. You guys share qualitative information. And that's the relationship. Some people do the A, some people do B, some people do C. Simple. Right? So, I think on a lot of people, it might be lost that, everybody is here to help, but you got to help yourself first. You got to help yourself first.
Hell yeah.
Pretty important.
King is changing his background.
Yep. So normally it would be about the time that middle class calls for a bathroom break, but because we all have good continence and strong bladders, being Guaylo, we can power right through this and go right to exactly a good question about how much longer we want to continue this non-Asian stream.
We can go up a little bit longer if you guys want.
Wrap
it up now.
Is King in the chat, actually? Sorry, is
What's that?
Is who?
Is middle class in the chat?
No, he's not in the chat.
No.
Not at all.
Because he's busy.
He's sequestered with for jury duty, right?
Yeah, they drug him away.
Yep. Come with us.
Yeah.
This is your home for the next month.
Yeah, they drug him away, so he's gone for a little while, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a good stream. I hope people took the conversation not too seriously, because it's really more just informational. It's for your, for your betterment. Take the information, look at it, study it, try to understand it, ask questions if you don't. I mean, that's what every stream I think is about. I don't know. What do you guys think?
If it gets too much, just turn off the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Information overload is no good.
Yeah, overload. Yeah, turn off Twitter, get off Facebook or whatever you have on your daily social medias, TikTok, whatever. Turn it off, get off, throw away the telephone, and just enjoy your life.
Yeah, just try
and
to
come
find
back in a 1
yourself,
week's
man.
time.
Yeah, you gotta find yourself. You gotta. If you're too busy focusing on what others are saying and doing, then you don't know who you are yet. You gotta find yourself and find the importance in your own thoughts and opinions. Because you got to be knowledgeable to some degree. I mean, we all have minds that we can use.
And to be honest, it would be less stressful for yourself. Because it's just relax and then take care of your own stuff rather than
Great
just
call.
follow other people.
Yeah, great call.
And then you're not watching the charts all the time.
That's a great way of putting it, bro. Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. I mean, I think that would be the key for most people. I mean, do you want to be tracking somebody down all the time, or do you just want to know? I like to just know. So, but that's just me.
I find myself sometimes waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I do is I take the telephone and have a look on the charts.
Of course, you're a Hexican.
Don't.
We're not supposed to look ever, but
still,
you find yourself doing it anyway in Stake Wrap, right?
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah. Then you say just
and then you go. Look, I do my cycle, right? I definitely go to Stake Wrap first, then I go to the regular ranking sites, then I go to. This is all from bed, right? Wake up, grab phone. You got to go through like the 5 things. Then you stretch. Get yourself to the bathroom in that order.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Not every day, but yeah, it happens.
So there's a question here. Someone explain the one vid we can buy and sell the stakes. What? There is no one vid, bro. Rewrite your question, brother. It's not making sense.
Do stakes with Trezor is a separate idea at the end of that statement. Yes, you can. You should do stakes with Trezor.
I mean, you gotta just ask the question differently. I'm not really. It's not. It wasn't clear to me what the question.
Can I take that apart? Can I see it again?
Sure.
It seems to be right. Yeah, as well.
Okay, I sold my car to buy more Hex and Hedron. Question: should I? It becomes a question. Is that question mark making the first statement a question?
I think that's a dude using hieroglyphics to say question.
Oh, okay. Or they don't know if Hedron's call sign is HDRN.
Or that.
Yep. Can someone explain with one vid how can we buy and sell / do stakes with a Trezor? Yes, of course. There is one already. It's called Connect Up Your Trezor to MetaMask and go about your business on DeFi like you would MetaMask standard. And you can find that on howtopulse.com. There's a video that I put together and you can find it there. It's simple. I think that answers the question.
The other one would be SafeHex. SafeHex.com is another one.
I forgot about that website.
But it doesn't have my video, goddammit.
Sorry. Go to Papa's first and then go to SafeHex.com.
Right.
Yeah. After you enjoy 40 minutes of Papa droning on, go to SafeHex and begin again. That's the best idea.
Watch Papa's first, then go watch the other one, then come back and complain to Papa.
And then complain about Papa's video. Please. Yes. That's what I enjoy. Absolutely. Criticism. You didn't really cover this spot as well. Yep. I think they did it over there. Could you please make a new video that covered this spot? Please. Thank you very much in advance. Goodbye now.
Yeah.
That's the boomer version of the criticism that I expect from the public and Hexican community.
So, King, what's going on your side over there? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat.
This. I'm chilling.
Anything
Your
new in the
EKG
upper
is pretty bland there, man.
KG.
You may want to check yourself into a hospital.
My crypto kitty.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I'm gonna have to get me one of them crypto kitties just to set it up like that.
He's hypnotized. He's hypnotized by Pulse Chain. So
Yo, a lot of people are gonna be when it drops. Don't worry, you ain't gonna be the only one.
Oh, one more thing on that subject, and then I'm done. From all the complaining and concerning and stressing over everything, I guarantee you, as soon as it drops, as soon as it goes live, you're not going to be ready. So get on that damn test net and play with it. If you haven't checked it out for months, do it again. Make sure you understand how to use the bridge and how to actually get on the, on PulseX, how to swap tokens, get your test stuff off of the faucet.
Oh.
Make sure all that shit is down 100%, right?
Oh, now that you're bringing up the test stuff, did you see Cryptographics talking about 4 versions of Hex? Because you got if you already watched the video, he talks about the Ethereum Hex, then you got the Pulse chain version of Hex, then you got Hex that you bridge from Pulse over to ETH, which I don't know why you would do that. He calls that P Hex, and then Hex that's on Ethereum bridged over to Pulse chain is called E Hex.
Crypto King, is this now just sinking in with you? Is it like this is what we were talking about a year ago?
Yeah, well, I guess maybe I was.
You forgot, bro. That's all.
You were so over prepared for it that you forgot the basics. It's fine.
It's okay.
But why would anybody bridge it back to ETH? Is there?
Look, this is what happens when you bridge a coin. It goes from one network to another, but it disappears on the other side. So while you bridging from ETH to Pulse chain, that E Hex essentially disappears and it no longer exists because now you only have P Hex.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why would anybody bring it from Pulse back to ETH?
I don't know.
control.
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
Yield.
Copies exist on Pulse chain. They got to be sold for something that can be sold for or taken back over the bridge to be able to be sold for assets that you want on that chain.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go, for example, at some point there could be a liquidity pool on Uniswap on Ethereum, which would be wrapped PHEX. It's possible. And then you have another liquidity pool, another DEX to sell on. And the thing freaking explodes on both sides of the chain. So it's possible that could happen.
Yeah, I think.
In fact, it's probable. It's going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. I think that statement is a very good one to make because I think that's the most important thing people to understand about markets is that anything is probable now or possible. The question is it probable? Right? That's the question. And that's how you have to look at markets because that is how you make any type of assumption that could even be somewhat right, even if it's out of bounds. Because all you got to do is take into account the important factors that go into making that assumption true. And that's really, it's about reverse engineering what you think could or could not happen and why and what is in existence that could lead up to that event and all these little things. I mean, it's not easy, but it's not hard either. It just takes a little practice and a little time. So,
what's going to blow your mind also, King, is that a non-bridged native token, let's call it Hex, on either chain will only be known and viewed as Hex on either native chain. The designation, the little letter before it, will designate a bridged asset that began its life on another chain and was bridged over. So it'll be the opposite of the chain that it's on in bridged form.
So you're telling me numbers 1 through 6 are going to be
all Richard Hart products when it comes to ranking.
Yes. In essence,
One-
yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Aren't you glad I forgot about that? See how
Yes.
we it broke us into some nice conversation about, God damn, this is
King.
some wild stuff.
King, in order to give you back as much as you dish out, thank you very much in the green room for your depends undergarments jokes. Now I'll say early senility may be something that you should look into.
Roger that. Yep.
You guys are crazy.
And with that, I got nothing more. I think we held this together as well as non-Asians on a Asian-themed stream can possibly do on their own. Nothing fell over. We had very few fires.
Yes.
2-drink minimum was upheld, and everyone tipped their waiter.
Oh, we didn't do
What
the
do you
usual-
think, Wales?
We didn't do the usual.
We
What
didn't.
are you drinking today? Damn
What are
it.
you drinking?
What are you
Yeah.
drinking today? Today
No
I'm
food.
drinking
I'm drinking water.
this. It looks
Sanitizer.
like hand sanitizer.
Just the
And
water.
washing it down with medicated lip balm
Oh, y'all crazy.
and a lot of hopium. Let's go, everyone. Enjoy the wait. We do it together.
That's how it works.
Thanks,
Do you,
Wales,
have a, do you have a
for
nice outro?
Yeah, we're about to do the outro right now.
Thank you, everyone,
thanks
for tuning
everybody
in.
for showing up. Thanks,
Thank you,
Wales,
Thank you very
for
much.
being the host for
My
today's
pleasure,
show,
man.
and it was fun. And see y'all on the next show.
Peace.
Next week. Thanks for coming in. See ya, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.